Good morning. Today is Tuesday, October 17th. Currently, we are at 5 minutes to 9 in the morning. And overnight, we see a little bit of activity in equity markets. We can see basically equity markets has gone into a Q3 earnings seasons period. And so far, the banks have been reporting healthier than expected results. So that's put a floor underneath equity prices in the States. And we can see in the Dow Jones, prices has went up to 34,088.98. And this is the first time the market has actually punched above the 33,893.7 levels that I was mentioning for the last 48 hours. So this market basically now is looking to trade a little bit higher. So in my opinion, I think there is a little bit more upside scope to be had. If we look at the price range here, we can see that there is the possibility of a market going back to 34,500, which is this green color line here, which is not that far away from the immediate resistance level at 34,800 to 35,070. So look out for further gains in equity market, in particularly the blue chips. However, in the S&P 500, we do not see the same thing. We can see that the high traded at 4,385.85 remains unmolested, although there was an attempt to actually try to challenge this level, but did not quite make it, although prices actually closed on a higher note. But we can see structure-wise, they have not taken out a important high so far. So the level to watch, in my opinion, is still 4,401, which is this gap over here left over by the breakdown in prices in the aftermath of the news that Hamas has actually launched an unprecedented attack on Israel. So that remains the gap that has not been filled fully. So we have filled up the gap by about 50%. So there is still scope for the market to actually fully recover this gap and perhaps even test the immediate level of resistance at 4,421 to 4,464 levels. Okay, and in the Nasdaq 100, again, we don't see a new high being traded. In fact, Nasdaq is still recovering. Yeah, so far recovered just marginally above 50% from its initial drop from 15,333.98. And we can see that prices have recovered somewhat, but still it is being kept within this immediate resistance level of 15,090 to 15,205. So we want to watch how market reacts. I think if the Dow Jones continue to trade higher, it may actually take the Nasdaq along with it for the ride. And if that's the case, then market may actually test the 15,456 to 15,512 levels. So look out for that level as well. And over in Hong Kong, we can see prices are a little bit stable, and prices is currently just underneath the 18,000 levels, and not sure if it's going to be able to sustain. But basically what we see is that the pullback from 18,492 appears a bit deep. So this bounce here that we see overnight may not be sustainable in the longer term. I think there is a scope. Let me give you the outside here. And I think the market is looking for this level here. Okay, I think there is scope for the market to go and challenge the 18,000 thereabout. So upside potential doesn't looks very bright to me. Okay, over in the Nikkei 225, we can see that the Nikkei has actually rebounded with a small little gap here this morning, and is currently trading at 32,200 levels. Structurally, the market has already done quite a bit massive move from 30,300 to 32,660. So for all we know, this market could be gathering enough momentum to challenge the 33,280 to 33,470 going forward. But a lot will depend on the earning reports that is currently coming on stream for the United States. And over in the dollar itself, dollar index pulled back a little bit from the high of 106.56 that we saw on the Monday itself. So prices are a little bit lower, but by and large, I think this dollar index is definitely going to trade a little bit higher, because based on the very, very strong momentum that we saw last Friday itself. So I think by and large, I do expect prices in the dollar index to go back up again to challenge a 107.05 levels over time. And over in the Euro dollars have a bit of a bounce. The euro have a bit of a bounce, and it's currently trading 105.60 thereabout. Upside is very limited in my opinion. I think the market at 106.20 to 106.40 is going to be a mountain to climb. So I don't think the market will be able to take out this level at any time soon. Over in the sterling, we see the same thing. Sterling also have a bit of a bounce. Top side it's going to be limited to 122.90 to 123.40 levels. Again, do watch out for some kind of resistance to emerge from around that area. And Aussie is enjoying a little bit of a relief rally right now. Market's trading at 0.63 half thereabout from a low of 0.6286 over the weekend itself. So top side is going to be limited to 0.64 to 0.6430. Dollar yen remains somewhat of a holding pattern. There is really no appetite to take this market higher. High traded over the recent days is 149.83. So we can see market is very, very hesitant to take this dollar rates higher in fear of a intervention by the Japanese authority. So this one remains to be seen how much upside there is, but I think the danger is to the downside, honestly. Okay, dollar Canadian continue to trade lower from a high of 137. Now it's currently trading at 136.16 thereabout. Bottom side, I think it will hold at 135.60 to 135.80 levels. So look for buying opportunity within this bracket of prices. However, if these prices actually fail to hold, then it could come into play, whereby the technical pullback in the three-wave decline may actually target 134.80 to as low as 134, the lower end of 134. So do look out for both possibilities. But in the meantime, I think the market should be a buy here. However, just be very careful of a break of 135.50. And in the crude oil, you can see crude oil managed to actually register a new high for at $88.33 over the last 48 hours, but prices are now a little bit back down at $86.70 thereabout. So I think by and large we do see a possibility of a challenge higher towards the $90 per barrel range. I think this is very much still in play. The reason why commodity prices has not continued its surge forward is because the ground offensive that everybody is anticipating that Israel will take in regards to Gaza has been on hold because of bad weathers. So maybe once the weather clear, the ground assault may actually proceed as planned. So that could actually cause commodity prices to rally one more time. And over in gold, we can see the same thing. Gold did a pullback to $1,907, which yesterday I did mention this is a great area to actually pick up some buying position, because this is where the last known demand actually coming. If you look at the day 1 hour time frame. Now let me refer you to the 1 hour time frame. You can see this little bar here, and this is where the demand actually lies. The market actually went into this bracket of prices and has been holding above this level. So I suspect that level is where the demand has been consolidating. So this is likely to be the base for the market to propel higher, perhaps to even to take out $1,947 going forward. And over in the silver market, we don't have the same level of support, but however, market has been very, very stable. There was hardly any pullback, or rather, I would say there was no meaningful pullback. The high traded is $22.82. Nearby support is likely to be around $22.07 to $22.20. But I seriously doubt the market can come that low. So in the meantime, you just have to take your cue from here. Likely to be the case whereby silver will continue to edge higher into this bracket of prices at $23.37 to $23.60. And over in Bitcoin, now this is where the excitement was yesterday. You can see there was a big spike in Bitcoin prices all the way to 30,128 before it comes back down to currently trading at 28,350 thereabout. Now this big move here was on the back of false reports, or rather rumors, that iShare, the company behind BlackRock, BlackRock is the company behind iShare, that actually been granted a license to operate a spot BTC ETF license by the SEC. There was no such confirmation, so the price come back down again. So this is where the market is very, very anticipatory of some kind of news by the SEC in granting one of the 7 applicants a license to operate a spot BTC ETF. So including today, we're going to hear, in fact, the whole week itself, we're going to hear from the SEC whether they are going to move forward with an approval for any of the 7 applicants that are applying for such a license. So in the meantime, do not take your eyes off the space, because I think this is where the big move is going to come from. In the meantime, you take care, and I come back to you tomorrow with another update. Bye-bye.